Today on Meatheads, we're going to be discussing our favorite exercises for new exercisers. We're going to be discussing things that piss us off in the gym and our dad joke of the week.
Have you ever been gaming or working online classes and your internet service constantly gets interrupted? First Nations Fiber is about to ensure that just won't happen again. Get ready for high speed at a new level. Click on fnfiber.com and sign up today. First Nations Fiber, empowering people through connectivity.
All right, welcome to Meatheads. My name is Marc Lalonde. With me, as always, my esteemed colleague, CEO of Total Fitness here in Kahnawake, Derek DeLille. Derek, great to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is all mine, as usual. So we got a great show for you guys today. We got a really exciting topic coming at you. We're going to be discussing fitness. We're going to be discussing ways to get moving. We're going to be discussing things that upset us. We're going to be discussing all kinds of really fun stuff. So strap in, sit tight, and enjoy the next 45 minutes to 60 minutes of pure Meatheads goodness. So, Derek, a report came out this week. Statistics Canada indicated that only of all Canadians, 16% of Canadian adults get the recommended amount of daily or weekly exercise. Health Canada recommends 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week of moderate to light to moderate heart rate raising activity. And only 16% of Canadians actually get that done. Does that number sound right to you?
It sounds right. It's kind of sad to hear that, but I can understand, when I talk to people that, I think fitness is second nature to me. It's very simple for me. We're always in the gym. That's our thing. But for people that don't have their own gym and they have to go to the gym, sometimes even that 30 minutes can be time consuming to go inside of a gym, the 20-minute drive to 20-minute back, whichever the case is. And a lot of people I find they're either too tired from working all day or they're just simply not motivated to get into shape.
I think that the work burnout fatigue factor is definitely something to consider. Canadians have to work more now than ever before. We're on call with cell phones 24 hours a day. The North American work culture has permeated to the point where we are working all the time. If our boss asks us something at night, we answer, we look after it, we do it.
Yeah. A very good example, one of my clients, he's a workaholic, and he called me this morning saying he can't make it. He had to run errands for work. And it's understandable. It's we have to live, right? Mm-hmm. And I told him, well, if you can, try walking, try doing something. But we get that a lot with my clients with their industry.
And that's something I'm noticing as well is people are so fatigued by the end of the day that they're like, I can't possibly fathom the idea of spending time physically fatiguing myself. But I think the reality is a little different, as you are well aware, I'm sure. And as many of our listeners who actually work out on the regular are aware, working out actually gives you more energy. It doesn't sap your energy. It activates your muscles, makes you better, gives you more energy. But a lot of people don't see past the initial outlay of effort before they want to just sit and put their feet up at the end of the day. And I don't blame them. Because life is tough these days, man, especially for people of our age. We're looking after older parents. We're looking after our kids. We're trying to have personal time. We're trying to look after our families and support them and work. And we're trying to make ourselves the best version of ourselves possible in the gym. That's a lot to ask.
It's a lot on most people's plates.
So today, what we thought we'd do is we would pitch out a couple of really great ideas for people who maybe are worried about the physical outlay of getting moving. They're worried about, physical pain of exercise. They're worried about muscle soreness or fatigue. So Derek and I decided today to come up with a fantasy draft, as we often like to do, which is one of our favorite activities here on Meatheads, a fantasy draft of great non-weight training exercises for beginners. So Derek, God love him, won the coin flip before. So Derek has first choice. Derek,
I'm going to go. Not most people can do this, but I would say one of them would be simply gardening. we were doing gardening over the weekend and, pulling up weeds and bringing the mulch over. It is physical activity. The sun's burning down on you, and, the bags get heavy when you're bringing it from the car to the backyard and stuff. So if you have access to that type of, environment and gardens, that's a pretty tough exercise.
I actually 100% agree with you. And that I have a funny anecdote about something like that. A few years back, I was teaching this seniors course, weight training. And one of the first class we had, we did a lot of squats. So many squats, in fact, that one lady came to me the next week and complained that her husband had to help her in and out of the car all weekend because we did so many squats. Well, I told her, look, come see me in 4 or 5 weeks. Tell me how you're feeling then, and then we'll have a discussion. Well, doesn't 4 weeks go by? And she comes to me and she goes, Marc, I squatted all weekend in my gardening, and I didn't feel it once in my legs. Thank you so much. And I'm like, I know. So yeah, 100%. Gardening is a great leisure time exercise. It eats up a lot of time. It's something people can do to make their home more beautiful and to generate food sources for themselves.
Yeah, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. You think you're doing work, but you're actually exercising at the same time.
100%. 100%. That's a great one. And that actually is going to lead me to one of my dark horse choices later on. And I'll get to that one too. But right now I'm going to go with walking. Walking is my number one beginner exercise activity. Why? Everyone pretty much can do it. Everyone can pretty much go for a walk, and everybody benefits from fresh air and exercise. So when I first started my fitness journey many years ago, it started with extending my dog walks to what I found to be a ridiculous amount. So I'd end up walking 8-10 kilometers a night with the dog, and I found, wow, this feels really great. I can't believe how good this feels. And the gym started from there.
Yeah, I have a little Chihuahua, and we started walking him in nice weather. He doesn't like to walk too far as a small dog, but after we were walking for a few days, I started realizing, because I'm not a walker myself, and I started realizing how much fun it is. It's so stress relieving, I guess. You walk around the block, and it's like, I think it was like maybe a 20-minute walk he came out to, and you do it morning and nighttime with the dog. It's like a 40-minute walk, and you don't really realize it because I'm walking with my partner, and we're talking, and we're just talking about life and walking. It was just a great experience, and I'm trying to get my youngest son to come out with us, but that's another generation, another topic.
I couldn't agree more. And in fact, something I've been doing for years, Derek, since that I first started walking my dogs at night, since like 2007, I've been doing an hour plus walk with my dogs every night before bed. Last thing I do, I get in 9:30, walk my dogs, come in, have a shower, go to bed. For years now, it's been a great way to settle my mind, tire my legs out, and put me in a good mental state to go to sleep. So, I mean, the benefits of walking are myriad, and I highly recommend. So you got gardening, I got walking. Your number 2 choice is?
Another one I like is playing sports. Tennis was one of our things we did last summer. And again, we're not good players. We're just hitting the ball, and probably most of us are just chasing the ball after we hit it. It's not an easy game to play, but it burned a lot of calories. We had my little smartwatch on and checking our calories and our burning and our heart rate. I'm like, hey, this is fun. And we've been doing it for 20 minutes, and I'm freaking tired of running around after this ball. But it's a lot of fun. We got the kids involved. So it was like a family thing we were doing.
It's great. And if for athletes, it's also good for lateral strength, because there's a lot of side-to-side movements, and not every sport is like that.
Oh yeah, my knees were feeling it in places I didn't feel before. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to go easy. I'm not, pro tennis player here.
No, it's tough, and on bigger bodies, it's tougher on the knees. Mm-hmm. So understood. But thank you very much for stealing my number 2 choice. By the way, that was going to be mine. So I have to go off the board here now, and my number 2 choice is going to be basketball. We have a basketball hoop outside our house. My son loves basketball. And anytime I want a quick cardiovascular boost, I say, hey, boy, let's go inside and play one-on-one. It's getting harder to beat him now because he's over 6 feet tall, despite being only 13 years old. And he's a pretty good basketball player. So it's getting tougher and tougher to beat him. But every so often, I actually do beat him. So that's still pretty nice. And that's a great fun way to work out some yayas in the middle of the day. To me, if I'm feeling like stressed out, I go out, play some basketball, come back in, feel much better. So it's a good cardiovascular. You find you're breathing hard, a lot like tennis. You're competing. You don't really realize it until too late. You're like, I'm tired. Great.
Yeah. And you get some sore shoulders afterwards.
That's it. So number 3,
I would go with swimming.
swimming. Good one.
It's a fun summertime activity if you have access to a pool, and it doesn't mean you're doing laps. You could be in there tossing the ball around. Me and my son, we play kind of like a water polo basketball in the pool with the ball, and you don't realize you're sweating. You don't realize you're exerting too much energy, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I know for sure that when I swim, I don't sweat that much, but I do exert a tremendous amount. And a few years back, I was an active participant in my community pool's master swim program. And I love the fact that it's a low impact activity on older joints because you can get it. It's exhausting. It's great exercise, great cardio, great muscle strength exercise. And it feels pretty good. It almost doesn't feel like exercise until, of course, you decide to get in a race and you're like, oh my God, my heart's pounding out of my chest. And it's awesome. So swimming is Derek's number 3. And you know what, Derek, actually, Facebook has sort of shown to me that you do love swimming because every so often you're posting stuff from the pool
Every picture.
in the backyard and you and the kids doing fun stuff in the backyard. So it makes me pretty jealous sometimes, not going to lie. So you got swimming on there. I'm going to put cycling. I live in the West Island of Montreal, and cyclists are everywhere.
Yep.
On Lakeshore Road. Some weekend mornings, it's overbearing. Seeing the amount of the sheer volume of adults out riding their bikes. In fact, I do believe cycling has replaced golf as the sport older people spend too much money on now. So you see it, right? Everybody's in the gear. They got the expensive bikes. I remember buying a bike for my kid a few years back. It was, $200, $300. Now you buy a bike for your kid. It's $700, $800, $1,000. And I'm like, what's going on here? How is that possible? Cycling has experienced a resurgence and another great low impact activity. If, walking hurts your knees and ankles, cycling won't. And it's a really great activity for beginners to get into. I don't necessarily do it because of the cyclists in my neighborhood that drive me nuts.
I think it was last year, my son decided he wanted to cycle. So he went down to the waterfront in Lachine, and he bought this really expensive bike. You got the helmet, the pants, and the whole works. And I decided to give it a try too. And I don't remember biking to be so much fun. And it makes a big difference on the bike you're getting. My old rusty mountain bike wasn't going anywhere. I jumped on his super bike, and I'm like, wow,
his super road bike.
Oh, it was so smooth, and it was so much fun. I'm like, why don't I do these things, right? We have like I was in the West Island too, and we got the bike path out there on Pierrefonds Boulevard there. I think it goes all the way up.
Yep.
I'm like, there's so many places to go biking. It's so much fun.
Yep. One of my favorite routes to take is if I'm heading out with some friends on a bike. I don't often do it, but when I do, I ride out on Lakeshore Road, and that goes all the way up to the tip of the island, past Senneville, and then you ride up to Cap Saint-Jacques. So you can do an entire tour of the western tour, tip of the island in about 2.5 hours on a weekend morning, and it's a lot of fun. It's quite delightful if you're into that sort of thing. I still like the gym though. Still prefer the gym. So that's my happy place. So just to be very clear. All right. So you've got gardening, you got tennis, and you got swimming. Feels you have a lot of really good activities. Let's see what you got for number 4.
Right, number 4 is a little bit unconventional. It's mostly aimed at, I think, the kids. My kids in my house was the old, I don't know if it's still around, but the old Wii video games or the virtual reality where they're actually standing up in the middle of their living room, boxing away.
Wii video games.
And because sometimes it's hard to get them off the games, but if you give them a game where you can be interactive and move.
Yeah, like Just Dance or one of the other ones. Yeah.
Because they were into the Just Dance one, and on the virtual reality set we have, it was a boxing game.
Yeah. So, Wii boxing is so much fun.
Yeah. So I went on there, and you put the goggles on. For this one, it's with the goggles, and you're fighting
goggles.
Yeah. And he looked like a Mike Tyson impersonator. And when you go toe to toe, he's like taller than me, he's bigger than me. I'm like, man, this is intimidating.
Nice.
He's there boxing, and my shoulders are burning, and you can see the little icons saying punch, punch, punch. I'm like, I'm trying. And after we were done the 3 rounds, I sat down. I was sweating, and it was a lot of fun. It was kind of weird, but I had a lot of fun doing it.
That's awesome. Yeah, my kids are huge fans of that. And same thing, like once you start, once you start competing and you get into it, you're like, why am I sweating? This is crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand 1,000% about so Wii video games. All right. We're going off the charts here. All right. My number 4 is, I'm also going off the board. And a fun way to get activity for beginners is to do what I call a beach circuit. And I don't mean a circuit of exercises, which is, different muscle groups working in concert at different times. I'm talking more like a simple beach circuit, paddleball, volleyball, Tarzan rope. You can spend a day at the beach and get a ton of activity and a ton of movement in your body, or you can spend a day at the beach and do no movement at all. I know some people who absolutely love that, but that's not my style and I don't enjoy that at all. So I would say paddleball, Tarzan rope, volleyball, the beach circuit. That's my favorite. I love beach volleyball, and paddleball with that little ball is always fun. You got to move around. It's like tennis. So running around in the sand, I would argue that it's really tough on the legs and the cardiovascular system. So that's also a fun activity.
Beside my house, there's a park and it has a volleyball field on there, or a sand pit.
Yeah, like a beach volleyball court?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I keep suggesting to the kids, hey, we should go out there and just play. We got like 8 at the house right now. So it's like, hey, we can have a game of volleyball. So maybe that'll be a great thing to do this afternoon.
What a fun idea. I'm glad you thought of it.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing
there you
that
go.
up.
Inspiration. This is what we're doing here.
And nobody uses it, because I drive by there every morning, every night, whatever. And there's not much people that do use it. The tennis courts are usually used up, but that's not being used. Or the outdoor park that they have, like a weight circuit, not even a weight circuit. It's like body movement circuit.
Yeah. It's an outdoor fitness circuit, basically.
Yeah, they have that there. So sometimes we mess around on there. So there's like so much stuff at that park, but to get everybody out there and going, that's the topic sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's the key, right? Is getting people off the couch and moving to the spot, because once they get there, they'll be like, yeah, this is fun. We're going to do it. We're going to get involved. We're going to get engaged. But I found the same thing with my kids sometimes. Like, they're tired. They have their activities to do their thing, and they arrive back and they want to plug into their screen and whatnot and decompress. And I'm like, hey, let's go do this. And they're like, we don't want to.
My youngest son, his thing is, Dad, I'm Gen Z. We don't do stuff like that. But when we're there, we have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's it. So it's like, okay, well, I have to drag you to do it. But when you're there, you're going, oh yeah, I'm having fun and I'm engaged.
Well, that's my exercise. Just pick him up.
Oh God, the dragging. It's yeah. Okay. So I have a 13-year-old son. His enthusiasm for things at 13 is not as high as it would have been when he was, say, 8.
Mm-hmm.
So getting him out the door to do things is often like the exercise.
Yes, I can totally relate with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Once we get moving, as you say, no problem. We're on the road, we're going, but like...
Yeah, it's to get them out there. He's like, Dad, let's get a basketball net for summer. Okay, we played in the beginning of spring. And I was like, nah, I don't want to play anymore. But when we're out there, he's like, Dad, you already finished? I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm taking a break.
Yeah, I know. And they have more energy than we have because they're young and we're old, and that's the way it goes.
Yep.
That's the fun part for me. Okay, number 5. Give me your 5.
This will be a fun one, dancing.
Dancing.
I'll be the first to say I'm not really a dancer, but I know a lot of people do like to dance, and it doesn't have to be at a dance studio. It could be in your kitchen. It could be outside and just have a little bit of fun. It's kind of weird if you're outside by yourself, but I mean, if you have a spouse, a partner, you can just dance around and just have fun.
I actually am taking note of the 5 things you have. You have gardening, you have tennis, you have swimming, you have Wii video games, and you have dancing. I feel like you'd be a great recreation director at an all-inclusive resort.
Well, maybe that's my future retirement.
I feel like that would be something that would be right up your alley, because this is all like, you could set up a whole program with Club these Med. 5 things. Right, exactly. Club D, actually.
There
I think,
go.
Wouldn't that be fun? I'd like to partner up with you if we do an all-inclusive. I think that'd be delightful. Good. Let's just move to Turks and Caicos and do that.
All winter long.
All winter long. Yeah, I don't know how I'd fare in July in Turks and Caicos, but I know in February I'd be just fine. No complaints.
Yep.
All right. So my number 5, I'm going off the board as well, and that's golf. Because most grown adults, 84% actually, don't get enough exercise. But golf is a way of getting exercise that you're not even aware you're getting exercise, as long as you walk the course. Playing golf in a golf cart is not exercise. Walking from the cart to your ball and back to the cart is not exercise. It doesn't matter how uphill the cart is.
I got so many clients that cancel to go play golf, and they're like, yeah, well, we exercise. I'm like, but do you walk or do you take the cart? Well, we take the cart, but I'm swinging.
That's not exercise. That's a mental
what do you
exercise.
You swing 4 or 5 times in a game? We're in a to get your
on a hole. Yeah. You swing 4 or 5 times on a hole, depending how bad you are. I'm bad, so it's probably more times. So I'm getting a bit more exercise than usual than the average person. But still, unless you're walking, it's not real exercise. But golf, you're walking the course. That's 4,000 yards, 10,000 steps. Like you're putting a lot of effort in, especially if you're carrying your bag.
Yep.
That's, you're adding 40 pounds of equipment to the body weight. That is equivalent to a really, really long farmer's walk. To my mind, that's a great strength exercise. So those are our fantasy drafts. Derek has gardening, tennis, swimming, Wii video games, and dancing. I've got walking, basketball, cycling, the beach circuit, and golf. Come to think of it, I feel like I'd be a pretty good recreation director and all-inclusive too. So that being said, we're gonna switch gears now, and we're gonna move along to the things that are pissing us off this week. Derek, what is pissing you off this week?
You know what? Nothing was actually pissing me off this week. I had the last 2 weeks have been phenomenal. But then I looked at a TikTok video, and it was a confrontation. A young boy was in front of the mirror flexing, and this older guy, none of them were really developed super. They're just normal people, gym people. And the guy bumped into the kid, and he's like, out of my way. And the kid turns around like, did you tell me to get out of the way? He goes, yeah, why are you flexing in the mirror? Make some room for other people in the gym. And then, or in the bathroom, actually, it was in the bathroom mirror. I was just trying to read the comments on it. And some people are saying, well, the bathroom is private. You shouldn't even have a camera on there recording yourself. And then people are thinking the older guy was being a bully to the 15-year-old kid by pushing him out of the way. And it just turns out to be a whole drama scene at the gym sometimes, you know, like another one YouTuber, big YouTuber guy, bodybuilder, powerlifter. Somebody called him out. So he showed up at his place of gym and confronted him with 5 of his guys, talking about, oh, you're calling me out. I'm not strong enough or whatever. Let's go. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. I
social media prompted a confrontation in the gym.
And it comes to the point where, is it real or are they doing for views? Because I watched it and I was seeing what was going to happen.
Sure.
And it was like a bunch of gang members on that side, and they're all jacked, like they're all built. And I don't know, it just stopped. They walked away. I'm like, what was that?
Wow.
You call somebody out on social media, they're going to come to your door.
That's amazing to me. And it's the kind of thing that I don't like seeing in the gym. I'll give you an example of something that upset me. Yesterday, I was in Monster Gym and I was doing leg day. And I'm annoyed to begin with already because it's leg day and I hate leg day and no one likes leg day. And my legs are shot to begin with. My poor quadricep is finished. So I'm doing leg day and I'm not enjoying it. So I got my squats out of the way. I got my deadlifts out of the way. So now I'm moving on to leg press, single leg press, and hack squats. So I go over to the single leg press and I want to superset it with the double leg press, but there's a green towel on the seat of the leg press and there's like a water bottle next to it. So that means that's gym vernacular for somebody is using this already. Well, don't I turn my head and I look over and I see a gentleman with another green towel using the hack squat machine. I see this older gentleman get off the hack squat machine, leave his towel, go over to the leg press where he has left his other towel and his water bottle and start working on the leg press. So he worked on the double leg press and now I'm sort of upset because I'm like, this guy's taking up 2 machines and not leaving space for others and not allowing others to work in. Fine. Then I see him leave the leg press and leave his towels on both of those pieces of equipment and then go over and do some calf raises on the calf raise machine. And I think to myself, is this your gym? Like, are you the only person in here? And the answer is, of course, no. There were 100 other people in there that day. But the sheer entitlement of this guy to just take up all of these very popular apparatuses at a time of the day when there's lots of people in the gym is a real faux pas.
Yeah. That's why, if I ever went to those gyms, I don't think I'd have a problem because I'd probably spend the whole time in the squat rack squatting.
Yeah, well,
sometimes,
generally I can, on leg day, I don't mind moving sets around. So instead of doing hack squat, leg press, single leg press, I did single leg press, hack squat, leg press, whatever. But
it's the gym etiquette that some people don't have anymore.
It's a shared space.
Mm-hmm.
It is a shared space and we all have to live in it. Go along to get along. That's my mind.
Yeah. And when I used to come across those situations where I wanted to do a superset and somebody was using it, I just come up with something probably different to do or just wait my turn.
Exactly. That's what I did. It's not worth the confrontation.
It really isn't. It's not going to change my legs from developing that workout. You know what I mean?
No, and it's probably not going to change that other person's behavior either.
Exactly.
So what's the point of a confrontation? It does nothing but, allow us all to get our testosterone out, which really, it doesn't benefit anybody in the long run. So that's the kind of thing that really does annoy me in the gym is that people don't use the shared space. Another thing actually was, here's another faux pas. And it goes back to your kid flexing in the mirror. Saw a kid take off his shirt in the middle of the gym and start flexing. Don't take off your shirt in the gym and start flexing. That's what the locker room is for.
I've seen that before, that gym way back in the 90s. Even. Yeah. And it was funny back then. It's probably even funnier now because now they got cameras taking their pictures and.
Oh my God. I mean, and that's the funniest thing is I'm like, guys, yes, you're doing great. You should be proud of yourselves. Go in the mirror in the washroom.
Yeah.
Or go at home. Take pictures of yourself on your camera. Don't do it here. It's unhygienic to take your shirt off in the gym. It just is. Nipples don't belong out in the gym. I'm sorry. I mean, I as much as
it's cringy.
It's super cringy.
Yeah.
Like, put your shirt on in the gym.
If you have your shirt on and you do a little flex in the mirror on your arms, whatever, but not to lift
don't
up the
go
shirt
off and then start doing a whole routine.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying, hey, look at me, guys, I'm jacked.
And then this kid wasn't even jacked. He was just like checking out his progress. But this is what happens with 16-year-olds is they want instant gratification. So they do a set of tricep extensions. And they're like, is my tricep swollen yet?
And the thing I've noticed with that is when I used to go to that gym, there's a lot of pro bodybuilders that will go there or competitors, and they're covered up head to toe, usually in a sweater. They stay warm.
Yeah,
and
you gotta keep your body warm.
And you look at these guys, I'm like, man, that guy's jacked. When I was his like a young age, I'm like I'd be walking around in my Speedos, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And these guys are all covered up. And when you see them in the change room changing, not that you're watching,
jacked,
but you're like, oh my God, that guy's like,
and there's a number of pros who come in there and. Well, the best thing about working out with the pros is their gym etiquette is beyond reproach.
You would think they'll all be like, hey, this is my gym. I run this place.
I'm the biggest guy in here. I get to run the show. No. The people who spend the most time in the gym are the people who respect the gym the most.
Yeah, I remember doing, I think chest press or something. And this guy was this pro. He was a pro and he was doing Romanian deadlifts with dumbbells. And he saw that I was using it for my chest press and he's, oh, I'm sorry. Are these yours? Do you want to use them? I'm like, no, it's all yours, buddy. It's all yours, But he's no. If you're using it, use it. It felt so, I don't know, different. I was so intimidated to think he's going to take it from me and just whatever. Right. I'm just a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the fun part of working out is discovering that is, you see, you go to the gym for, you start developing nodding relationships with people. You say hello, you admire their work ethic, this and that. And at the same time, you see people who you say, oh, wow, that's a person who, treats the place properly. That's a person I want to be around. That's a person I start to respect. And that creates an atmosphere of cooperation and complicity, to my mind.
Yeah, they treat it like their home because that is their home. They're professionals.
It's their third. Everybody has to have a third place. The gym is my third place. Home, work, the gym.
Yeah, and you keep it as clean as your house.
Yeah, and that's the idea. Like it's again, it's a shared space. No one wants to trip over dumbbells. No one wants to trip over plates. No one wants to trip over kids with their shirts off flexing in the mirror. So none of that is any fun. I heard this great joke before. Speaking of the gym. Do you know why the farmer got tossed out of the gym?
Nope, I don't know why.
It's because he was killing his calves.
Nice.
You like that one?
I like that one.
I like that one a lot too. That's one of my favorite dad jokes of all time. I'm going to use that constantly and without fail today, Derek. Awesome. And whoever came up with that one and told it to me deserves a ton of credit. Actually, full disclosure, that was Derek's joke. He gave it to me before the podcast and we used it.
Yeah, and I got that from my girlfriend of all people this morning. She goes, hey, I got a good joke for you. I'm like, yeah.
I have such a deep satisfaction with dad jokes. I love them so much. I just do. This has been great. Derek, what are your plans for the rest of today?
I'm going to go finish work, probably do a small workout, and guess what? Go in the pool.
What are you training today when you work out?
Today, it's mostly like a metabolic conditioning. I'll probably do some
cross train.
Yeah, kind of light clean and presses for 10, farmer's walk for 10 rounds. And that'll be my metabolic workout today.
Yeah, very good. For me, it's chest triceps today. My favorite day of the week. I love chest triceps. I always put it right after leg day so that I have something to look forward to. Because I hate leg day so much. Yeah,
that's why before I used to do a squat to get my legs in, and then I do a little bit of upper body. So you get your squats out of the way, then I got chest, I got arms.
But to actually ride off of that for a second, I noticed something last night. Whenever I do leg day and I don't do any upper body at all, I come out of there feeling jacked in my shoulders and arms too.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a miracle to my mind.
It's a static contraction of holding the barbell on your back or in the front, or the lunges and your arms.
The deadlifts too. Deadlifts with you gotta, you jack your back and your shoulders and your traps and lock those out.
A quick little story. One of my clients, we were doing I have a deadlift day where we do like deadlifts and stuff. And she's like, oh, I'm feeling it more in my arms. I'm like, yeah, because you're gripping those weights.
Yeah.
You're gripping everything that we're doing, shrugs. And she's like, oh, I feel it in my arms. I'm like, arm day was yesterday.
Arm day was
deadlift.
exactly. And that's still, and yet you get the feeling nonetheless. I love that feeling. I cannot explain how good a feeling it is to sit in my old man chair at night after having a great workout and not feel any nervous energy whatsoever before bed. It's the greatest feeling in the world. And to anybody listening who says, oh man, I don't want to exercise, there is no greater feeling in the world. There is no greater feeling in the world.
Arnold Schwarzenegger said it too.
Yep, yes, he did.
Yes,
in his unique manner.
Yeah, it was back in the 70s.
Yeah,
even.
yeah. When he was talking about intimate relations and how it feels when you have the pump going.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. So on that,
and he pumps every day. He says,
exactly on that very scatological note, this has been Meatheads. My name is Marc Lalonde. It's been a pleasure. With me, as always, is CEO of Total Fitness, Derek DeLille here in Gunawage. A one-stop shop for all your fitness needs here. Thank you very much for being with us today, Derek.
All right, we'll see you next time.
The pleasure's mine. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Meatheads, and please check out our other podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or Google, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Check out the front page, profiles, and the beating table.
The views and opinions of the guests expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Iorì and its employees.